Okay, the weirdest thing just happened where I was stitching someone's video. It wasn't working, so I saved it, went back to it. Now I can't access it, and then I went to go back to the video. It's gone. All right, whatever. But basically, the guy, his name is Zach. He's a teacher, good teacher. And he asked, "How do y'all do conferences?" And for those of you who know, I taught middle school for 19 years before I moved to high school. And we used to do it where we would either have a half day or a whole day. I cannot remember, but I know when we started traditionally having half days, we did not traditionally start having half days until maybe my third or fourth year into teaching here in middle school. So we would take a day in October to have a half day where we would meet with parents, and they would only get like a 10-15 minute slot. But what we used to do was tag team with the teachers and say, okay, you're meeting with Maggie, let's all meet with Maggie, instead of us meeting with the parent meeting with the same teacher multiple different times. Like, you did have some parents, we know what y'all was doing. I only want to meet with one teacher at a time. No, you need to get the smoke all at one time. Okay. All right. So then on a high school level, what we started doing, because of the number of failures that we had, is we started doing this thing called next level conferences. I'll admit, the first time I did it, it was smooth out a hitch. Parents were given a Google Meet. Luckily, we don't start school till 8:55 or 8:50. And then, so we can be on conferences early as 8 o'clock. So at 8:15, we would log on this Google Meet. I would go through this presentation with them. I've even walked them through my son's Google Classroom to show them what the to-do list looks like, what it means when stuff is missing, when things need to be turned in, when things have been graded. What does it look like? And I would pull up my son's Google Classroom. I would tell him about Power School, but the Google Classroom is your best friend first, okay? But I remember on the middle school level, again, it was a half day. He talked about Zach talked about how they would be compensated time for staying late after school. I don't remember us having that. I might be wrong, because I do remember one day we had the parents come and pick up the report card and see us face to face. And then as a result of seeing us face to face, they would schedule a conference to come in on that half day or whatever day. Okay. My only issue this year with the next level conferences that we did, and I heard this was a new thing. What I didn't like about it the second time we did it is third quarter, I'll admit, I had failures in my Avid 3 and my English 1 class. And as a result, they put them all in the same meet, and that shouldn't happen. And even though one person explained it to me, one administrator said, well, this is why we did that. I said, but it's two different courses. And I can't, what I'm talking about one course, I'm not going to talk about the same. And I wasn't mentally prepared to talk to the same group of kids, talk to the same kids about, I didn't feel comfortable with that. So we worked it out, me and the council worked it out where they were given the meet. I wasn't given that meet. I was told, you have your English 1 failures. This is who you're speaking to. So what I did, me and the counselor did, was, since I have a planning period, first and second period, I said, can y'all sign back on the same meet at 9 o'clock, my Avid 3 kids? And we had a conversation then. So, and then what's supposed to happen with the next level, you're supposed to get a recording and should be able to post it on Google Classroom. So even if your child is not failing, maybe you want to hear more how you can better service them and help them to be more successful. Because a lot of parents don't realize, what's the word I want to say? A lot of parents don't realize that Power School is not your first result. Google Classroom is, because a lot of times you see the assignment after it is graded. And we've already had that assignment posted on Google Classroom sometimes a week or so in advance, sometimes 3 weeks before it's even due. Okay. So checking that to-do list, parents, is your best friend. And that's what I teach them in those parent-teacher conferences. But what I wanted to add to that, I'm at this video is longer than I wanted to be, I'll speed it up. One thing I want to add to that is what we're good about. I noticed on high school level, our conferences sometimes at 4 o'clock. That's around the time that we get out of school. We get out of school about 3:53. Very rarely I've been in a conference that went over 30 minutes. Nevertheless, they make sure, at least our freshmen, we make sure, I don't think I've been at a conference in person or online, and most of ours are online, where the child was not in attendance. The child was on the meet, the child was in the room, or maybe the child stayed at the school while the administrator is there and they sit in the office with them. Like, they don't even go home. They just stay at school to stay on the conference. And I appreciate that, because sometimes, yeah, I've contacted parents, but for some reason it's not clicking. So it is not a beat up on you session. It is a parent, let's talk with the child and the teachers and let you know, if you don't get it together, this is what's going to happen. And it's already happened, but you can turn this around. Okay.